Hello. Welcome back to the IFS podcast. Our live review. Edwin, say hello.
Hello, everybody. Glad to be back.
All right. Just Ed and I this week. Our dear friend Easy Pretzel, the disembodied voice, is on a work trip. Can't be joining us, but we wanted to do another live review. These seem to be kind of fun and relatively successful thus far. And the only way we're going to get better at it is if we keep doing it. You'll notice this week that I don't have a sheet behind me. I now am joined by a Christmas tree. And our first beer that we're going to drink is Victory's homegrown New American Lager. Look at that right there. This is a new one on me. Ed, you've had this a number of times. I just cracked this one open. I haven't tried it yet.
I am a non-apologetic Victory fanboy. They do German style beers and they do them very well. And I think this is no exception to that rule.
Man, that's nice. All right, some of the particulars of this one: 4.8%, and this is how they describe it. American whole flower hops lead distinctly juicy resinous aromas through a body of raw gold in this bold New American lager. I'm a big fan of Victory as well, and I really like them for lagers, pilsners. Color on this one is nice. It's a little bit hazier than most lagers that I've ever had. Might be just because of how cold it is. This one's really cold.
The haze will keep going through. I noticed it earlier. I cheated and tried 1 or 3. But yeah, it's got a really great color to it. And it definitely, anyone who's a fan of Victory and just complete authentic German style brewing knows what they're going to be getting into. It tastes remarkably good. It's refreshing. The ABV is not going to knock you off your socks. It's really good stuff.
Yeah. I got to tell you, I think that the juicy resinous aromas. I mean, I've never really considered juicy as an aroma. And I feel like this is a bit of marketing and not necessarily an accurate description. It is a little bit resinous. But it's nice and clean like a lager. Juicy, just I'm not picking that up. It might be too cold, might be too early.
I get a little, maybe a touch of fruitiness in there. I'm not sure if that's the hops. I couldn't identify what hops they're using in here. I'm sure you might have it up in front of you, but it definitely has a for a lager, it definitely has a lot of hop character to it, but I think it balances out well with the German style there.
Yeah. I'm actually trying to pull it up right now, find out what the deal is. Homegrown. I'm guessing that they went with something that's like, and they call it a New American Lager. Maybe they're trying to leave some of their German roots a little bit behind on this one. The malt is Pilsner and Cara Pils. The hops are Centennial, Mosaic, Azteca, Cascade, Chinook, and Citra. So that makes sense from
it's all over the place. I mean, but it works.
Yeah, it does work. I mean, I guess it makes sense that those hops would be in a New American lager. A lot of those are newer hops. I don't know.
Traditional and new, both put together.
Yeah.
I think this is kind of what we were talking about when we did the Alsahampton beer, though. If you're going to, not the Victory is not a huge player themselves, but if you're going to attack the conglomerates that are taking over the space, you might want to try to attack them with like beers that are better beers that are accessible to people. And this definitely, I think, fits in that category where somebody who might not be completely, on board with microbrews would say, hey, I could drink this, and say, well, maybe this isn't that bad, and it's a good stepping stone or possibly a gateway beer.
Yeah. If you're in the IFS chat here right now while you're watching, say hello. Joel, nice to see you. If you have any questions, jump right in. How much was this a case? You picked this up. You were kind enough to share some with me. How much did you pay for this?
It was roughly $40.
Mm.
Now, the caveat to that is we had discussed getting this earlier in the week, and the place I had to buy it probably overcharges a little bit. So I think if I would have shopped around, I probably could have gotten it for 35 to 37.
I was gonna say I think 35 is the sweet spot on this, but when I could get the lager we drank last week for $30 for pounders, it's kind of hard for me to recommend this one over the Pizza Boy lager.
Sure, definitely at that price point. That's something I'd have to research, but it was just a spur of the moment at lunch today. I was thinking, I wonder if that place up the street carries this, and I just called them, and they put my name is written on the case. They put it back for me as the last case. I was like, all right. So maybe they were like, well, this guy will pay whatever we want. So
yeah.
They saw me coming a mile away.
You wanted it. It's $40, right?
Yeah. If you're going to personalize it, I would have paid whatever they wanted. I don't care.
Yeah. Michael says that's a good beer. I agree. This is a good beer. And you know what? I'm drinking it really fast. It goes down really quick.
Yeah, this is becoming a common theme where we're just rocketing beers through our system.
Yeah. And we only got 2, which I guess means that hopefully this will be a shorter episode than most. This is a timely beer, a little bit serendipitous to see some news show up. Good beer hunting, and we'll put the link here in the chat. You guys can check it out now or later. Good beer hunting broke the story that Victory and Southern Tier, so they're part of an artisanal brewing ventures, ABV, which I think is a little too on the nose for my taste. They are opening a large, it sounds like a small brew pub or maybe a large brew pub, 10,000 barrels annually. They're going to be producing down in Charlottesville, North Carolina. So
production only, or is that going to be a pub?
Production, brew house, fermenting cellar, packaging line, a quality assurance lab, a tasting room, indoor and outdoor space, total capacity of 700 guests. So this is not, and they talk about being small, but 700 guests.
Welcome to the Terror Dome. They're doing the same thing. They're building, the Guy Fieri's American Grill down there in Charlotte. I don't like it being a Pennsylvania guy. I hold Victory is the first big, like not big, but back in the late 90s, early 2000s, they were one of the first beer field trips I made to go to like an actual micro brewery, before the remodel, before all that stuff. And I've always held them near and dear, and I've always liked their styles, and I've always liked what they've done. It kind of makes me think like, keep it in PA. But you knew once Southern Tier signed on with them, they had bigger plans than, our piddly shit up here in the Northeast, I guess. I don't know. Everyone's racing to North Carolina because I guess they have lax tax laws or something, or, and they can get a good break. So I hope it works out for them. Both Southern Tier and Victory are great breweries, and I hope it really works out.
Yeah. And I hope it works out for the 2. I think I misspoke. I said Charlottesville. That obviously has been on my mind.
I missed that. Yeah. I missed a golden opportunity to kill you.
Nah. Charlotte, North Carolina. And I think I said Charlottesville, South Carolina earlier. Hey, I've been drinking. I get everything wrong on this show. So I think I trust these guys to make a nice brew house. Southern Tier put one in on the North Shore of Pittsburgh. I haven't been there yet. I'm not clamoring to get there. I hear it's good. I also hear that their beer offerings are rather pedestrian. The Victory place in Parksburg, I've been there. It's fantastic. It's a great space. It's frankly, I think, a little bit under as far as the amount of traffic that they were maybe hoping. Every time I go there, I feel like I have the place to myself, which is great. Get lots of attention, fast service. They always have a couple of nice beers on, something other than their normal offerings, and the service and the food there is very good. It does have a bit of a Trogs feel to it in the flavor of the space. It's not quite as open as Trogs is, and it's not. You don't feel like you're sitting into the brewery the way Trogs is. It's a little bit more walled off, but it's a very nice space. If you like Trogs, you'll like visiting Parksburg down there in Lancaster. It's really good. So I have a good feeling about what they could maybe produce down there.
Yeah, they're 420 Acorn Lane. I know the goddamn address, and I live an hour away. The bartenders down at the original Victory used to know me by name, and that was scary the first time I heard that. But the best part about these are all train stops. If you're Amtrakking through Central PA, you can hit Harrisburg, Lancaster. You can head out to Parksburg has a stop a mile from there. You can head over to Paoli, Ardmore, and then get into Center City and all that. It's beautiful.
Downtown Lancaster.
It's unbelievable. The Lancaster stop is a gem.
We have talked offline about doing a train run. I've wanted to do a train run and maybe try to get some of our listeners to join in. I think it'd be a lot of fun. My only concern is, God, there's a lot of stops there.
Yeah, I mean, I've done a couple of them, and I'm no spring chicken anymore, but it can get a little worse for the wear. It makes a long day. I've wanted to do go out, hit hotel, come back, hit other places on the way back, make it a 2-day thing. But I think we could definitely muster we could muster a trip Harrisburg to Main Line, and then people drop off on the way back. I think that would work.
Yeah, I think that would work. Let's tilt this a little bit. You and I got an invite to Trogs Brewing Company. It was what, a month ago?
Somewhere around there, yeah.
And we went to the Art of Trogs exhibit opening and their Wild Elf release party. Now, Wild Elf is still a little ways off. They were at this tasting. They were just pulling them right off the. I'll script the name of this. The Foeders.
I think it's Footers.
No, doesn't matter. Those big wooden tanks, and the beer tasted amazing. It was I think better than last year's. I thought the flavor was right on. It was very woodsy. It was excellent. It was a nice little taste, and I'm looking forward to the Wild Elf coming out soon. The part that I really enjoyed about it was what is an expansion on, I think, how Trogs does their business and presents their beers, which is they present their beer within the context of other things, food, friends, an event. If you watch their social media, you can really see how they place their beer within a context. And because of that, I think that they have a better presentation of their product. And this event was kind of an extension of that. It was beer being provided within the context of that art gallery opening, which is really great, and with a very eclectic crowd of individuals, some very cool people there, other podcasters who people have worked with the Trogs earlier that day. Drinking Partners podcast, John and Chris appeared on that. If you haven't listened to it, then you're really missing out. Drinking Partners podcast, great guys, very funny, and Chris and John did a nice job on that show. Really opened up about some stuff. So give that a listen. Great event. What'd you think?
I thought it was a lot of fun, and it was one of those things where I got the rare cool invite and got to go and hang out and see how they like to party up and present themselves, and it's really neat. And seeing all the art and how they embrace the local people who like to frequent their establishment and have all that talent is really cool. I think all the exhibits are really neat, and I like how they keep them on display at the brewery, and you can just walk around with beers and go look at them, and everything's really cool. That room with all the footers is crazy. They're I forget what they call it, but amazing. And then to release
Splinter Cellar.
Okay. And I knew that I wanted to say barrel room, but I knew that was not doing it justice. But it just really cool, and the food's it's just finger food and apps, but it's still first class. It's amazing. Everything that they do there is really good, and I have my issues with like I got to drive all the way out there and try to park. But when you're there, you definitely have.
You can't complain about the park anymore.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Hey, I can complain about whatever I want. I didn't get yelled at by them. I wasn't complaining, but it's one of those things. It's a great experience to go out there. I went out there for brunch as well a couple months ago with friends of ours that live right near there. That's just a first class experience, and you just have a really good time with really good food, and it's open and it's relaxed, and I mean, anything you want, it's there. I mean, it's it's 2 blocks down from Hershey Park, so it's kind of a beer amusement park.
And that's what those beer partners guys said. It was like a beer amusement park. And it really is. It's so great to visit. If you ever get a chance, if you haven't been, you should definitely check it out. All right. I'm about done with this one. So we got to give this one a rating.
Yes. I'm going to give this one definitely, I'm going to give it a 3.7. Wait, are we doing 5 or 10?
10. We'll do it on 10.
All right. I'll give this one a 7.5 out of 10. I really like it. It's not mind blowing, but it's definitely good and worth drinking. You could drink a lot of it. I think it's great.
Yeah, I agree with that. This is an easy drinking beer. As it warmed up, it got a little bit drier in the finish, which I really liked. I think that was a nice touch. I think it's well constructed. I expect a good lager from Victory. This is very good. I think the price point is a little tough. At $40, it's a 7. At $35, it's probably getting closer to an 8 for me. I'm going to give this one a 7.5. This is a great summer beer. It's a great lawnmower beer. You can crush a bunch of these. Having it in bottles is a little tough. This is a beer that should be in cans.
When did that become a tough thing? It kills me, this whole can craze. Get over yourselves.
I want a lager like this in cans because I want to be able to take it to the beach, take it to a tailgate.
You can take it to the beach or tailgate. You just have to be responsible and throw them away.
I'm not responsible, and I don't want to have to be. And you know what? A lager I like in cans.
Every time someone brings up cans, they have to throw camping in my face because they know I don't go camping.
I don't camp.
Yeah, me either. All right, I have to run away for 1 second.
Oh my God.
I have a locked out situation at my front door. I'll be back in 1 second.
So I've got to spend the next few minutes helping you carry away so we don't have some dead air. I wish he hadn't muted his mic because then you could see him running out of the room and running back in. So, his girlfriend Tierney locks herself out. I'm assuming it wasn't the cat. And so if you don't know Tierney writes for Stouts and Stilettos. Really nice website. It is craft beer from the woman's perspective. And it's not something I think that we hear enough of. It's stoutsandstilettos.com. She's got a great group of writers. And now that Ed's allowed her back in the house, maybe she'll be able to write something on her site because I know she's been kind of not had much up recently. Welcome back, Ed.
Hey, thanks. It's a quick trip down the steps.
Yeah, I felt like, I'll tell you what, when you have to cover dead air for like 3 minutes and you're trying to stretch, it can be kind of tough. So
what you need to do, I mean, this is what I do. I have a little document on my phone. It's all just street jokes. So you could just do like a 3-minute bit that's all just street jokes. You're just like, so 3 guys walk into a bar.
Oh, yeah, come on. You got to give us one now. You got to burn one. So
why are there no casinos in Africa?
Why are there no casinos in Africa?
Because there's too many cheetahs.
Wow. That's terrible. Michael wanted me to tell an embarrassing story about Ed. I'm not going to do that. Not on the record. No. Joel, see, notice breaking news tweet. I'm in favor of cans, but the evangelism is getting borderline silly. I agree. We don't need to evangelize cans. I just like cans. Cans, if anyone's been out there saying cans aren't a big deal, it's Brian D. Roth, friend of the show, who should be coming on soon. He's been saying cans aren't news. Cans aren't a story. Stop writing about cans. I agree. That being said, I like to have beer in a can. So I think it works. There's more sides to the story. But you're right. So beer number 2, we are having New Belgium Fat Tire Special Release Belgian White.
Thank you for dropping this off.
My pleasure. So this is very hazy, as a Belgian White would be. Nice color.
Smell came right out of the bottle at me.
Yeah, it really does. The nose on this one is pretty heavy. Heavy in that it's just bold.
So what's the premise of this? They just took, it says Fat Tire. Now, when I drink Fat Tire, I expect like a, regular amber, ale lager type.
I'm going to complain about this one again.
Uh-oh.
Our Belgian master brewer's classic white wheat ale brewed with juicy Seville orange peel and freshly ground coriander. Okay. Coriander, I think, gets a little bit too much play in craft beer, but whatever. But nothing gets more play these days than juicy. Juicy Seville orange peel. What's juicy about an orange peel?
Yeah, I think it's what's inside the orange peel that's the juicy.
They're just desperate to work the juicy into the marketing. All right, let's try it.
All right.
Yeah. It's there.
I like the color. If they were going for a wit, they got it. I don't get the Fat Tire correlation.
And that might be more marketing, I think, because I'll tell you what, a lot of people just say, "Have you had that Fat Tire beer?" And they're not referencing
Belgium.
Yeah, they're not referencing necessarily the Fat Tire by New Belgium. They're referencing New Belgium.
I was guilty of the same thing.
I think New Belgium has better brand recognition. Sorry, Fat Tire has better brand recognition than New Belgium. That's probably a problem for them, and maybe this is a way to try to address that or to play it up. It might be a good problem to have,
I enjoy it. I don't think it's bad. You have to be into the, white ale / wit style beers. It definitely has a good color. The color spot on. I can definitely taste the flavors that they. Well, I don't know. I don't know if you've taken offense to my comments on this beer, or if that just went down the wrong pipe.
Down the wrong pipe. This is live recording, folks.
We will resuscitate you. No worries. I'm CPR certified.
Yeah, that's gonna be really impressive for you to do from 25 miles away.
Going to do presses on my screen. But no, I think this is good. I really like the color of it. I think they nailed that. It definitely, the head retention's nice and fluffy. Dig that. Smells good. The smell out of the bottle scared the shit out of me, though. I was like, uh-oh, when it came out. But I don't know. This is
I thought the smell right away, I thought, was almost kind of like chemically. It didn't work with me, but it has kind of faded out a little bit.
Yeah, it hit me right off the crack of the cap there. But no, this is good stuff. I think it's all right.
Yeah. It's when I say it's there, that's my way of being kind of dismissive about it, at least off the bat. The coriander is muted, which I think is good. It does have some nice orange peel flavor. This is not juicy, as I understand the purpose of that descriptor within craft beer. They're just jamming that that we're back in here again. It is kind of interesting. We have these two beers that are very different in style. We have a lager, we have a Belgian white, and both of them want to make sure that these are juicy. Well, are they really? No, they're not.
Maybe it's just a word that you're using. I mean, instead of citrusy, which I would definitely call this, and I could definitely see coming out of some of the hops that they used in the homegrown lager.
Yeah, I think that they are citrusy. I do not think that juicy is a replacement for citrus as a proper descriptor. I get it. Like, we've bastardized so many of the terms that we use around craft beer, even to the point where a lot of the styles don't mean anything anymore.
Do you want to go down the session rabbit hole with me right now? Because yeah. I'll throw my laptop on the 2nd Street in Harrisburg right now.
We've done that at least a little bit, but this is I think the marketing guys pushes into like how these descriptors going is maybe getting a little bit too heavy handed.
But one thing I have to say though is that it's not. Hang on, let me look at the bottle first before I say this. It's not foremost on the bottle. Like, people are like, well, it's so-and-so session IPA, where they throw that on the label so that you...
Right.
They're not doing that. They put it in the description, so I can kind of give them a mulligan on that. It's not as blatant, but I can see where you're coming from with the why is every beer doing this now?
Yeah. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's just God, I you know what I wish? I wish Dave was here for this one, because he'd be able to nail this beer.
He'd be shitting all over these beers.
He would be. He would be. He would hate this. He would. This is not a beer for David.
And I get, my fault is that it's rare to find a beer that I can go, oh, that's terrible. It's few and far between. So I can find merit in almost anything, except I can't drink Gozas, and I get that they're fine. It's just not my style. But I won't knock them for that. I just don't like them. But, you know, I don't have a problem with this. I think it's a decent beer. If I was on somebody's deck and they're like, here, I'd be like, all right, this is good.
I like Gozas. My beer style that I can't do is alt beer.
What do you got against alt beer?
Don't like it. Doesn't work for me. Don't like it. You know what? I don't understand what the point of it is. It's not good. Don't like it. I'm surprised anyone likes it.
I've had some really good ones. Now, some of my friends are very good at homebrewing those styles, like a Pater's beer or like an alt beer or an ESB type, you know, the beers that were meant to be session beers, not you weirdos with your half-cut IPAs. But, you know, when you get a really good one, Yard's ESA is a perfect example of that. If like you might have an ESB and you're like, you drink a Yard's ESA on cask, it's it's one of the most perfect beers I've ever had. It's unbelievable. And it might not be everybody's style, but it's so damn good. And it's just nailing the style the way it was meant to be at the alcohol point, the carbonation point, and just the flavor point that you were supposed to get from that British style brew. It's unreal. And I think the same goes for German style, which the Victory, I think, nailed. You know, when you got it, you nail it and you do it well. And I think something really comes out of that. And that's why these American Saisons drive me nuts, because I hold everything to Saison DuPont, and something that doesn't taste like that to me isn't a Saison. And I know that I'm 99% wrong in that, because every Saison I've had from local breweries that are supposed to be amazing don't tickle my fancy at all. But, you know, it's all relative, but still, when you nail a style, you nail a style. I think this is definitely within the style, though. And I think they've done a good job with it.
Yeah, it is. I don't hate this beer. I don't love it. If someone, you know, said to me, should I buy this? I'd be like, yeah, get a 6-pack. I think this is for a more mainstream beer drinker. This is designed not to offend. It's not bold in any of the interesting ways. They've sanded off all the rough edges that would make it, I think, more interesting. or at least give your palate something more to chew on and bite. It's a little one note. Each note is coming in independently, and it's not really, in my estimation, just pushing any of them hard enough or high enough. This is I guess what maybe is mainstream craft beer now. This is nothing all that interesting. Color is nice, spot on. It could use, I think, in my opinion, a little bit more legs on it.
I still have really good head retention coming down, which definitely kind of a Belgian-y thing. So yeah, I don't have a problem with it. I'll do you one better. I know we're not going to give it a score yet, but I would say, you said, yeah, sure, pick up a 6-pack. I would say throw this into a mix of 6, and you're not going to hate it.
All right, I agree with that. All right. Before we rate this one, because that'll kind of, I think, wrap us up here. Quick shout out to Joel down at Due South. Today was his last day. Joel came on the show early on when we started this podcast from Due South, and was great, and gave some really interesting insights about what it's like to be a brewer. He's moving on to a new adventure. I think Due South is going to miss him. I've never had any of their stuff down there, but he's always been a really interesting guy. Brew Cocky, at Brew Cocky on Twitter. Joel, congratulations on the new gig, and good luck. Thanks for coming on the show. We need to make sure we have you on again sometime soon.
Yeah, we need the mouth of the South back. Now, I'm going to plead ignorance here because I don't get to read Twitter at work so much. But where's he headed? Is he headed to another brewing operation?
Yeah, it's also a winery. It's kind of both. I was looking for the Twitter. God, I'm going to try to find it here. You covered the dead air for me for a while, so now you have to. While I look.
All right. So this baby polar bear, well, not baby, child polar bear, goes up to his mom and goes, "Mom, am I 100% polar bear?" And she goes, "Well, yeah, I'm 100% polar bear. Your dad's 100% polar bear. I don't know. What are you talking about?" She's like, "Go ask your dad." So he goes, "Dad, am I 100% polar bear?" And he's like, "Well, of course you're 100% polar bear. Your mom's 100% polar bear. I'm 100% polar bear. Your grandmother's both 100% polar bear. Their parents on their side are both 100% polar bear. Their parents are 100% polar bear." He's like, "Why are you even asking?" He goes, "Because I'm fucking freezing."
Wow. That's terrible. Joel's actually watching in the chat. I didn't even realize that was him. He's been watching this whole time. Joel, where are you headed? Put it in there. I'll read it off. So anyway, congrats to him. Where are we at on this beer? What do you think?
I'll give it a. Geez. I'm going to give this a 6.8.
Wow.
Too high? Out of 10?
Yeah, it's too high.
Joel, right, 6.5.
I'm not trying to talk you out of it. Moving 0.3 of a point. Come on.
Here's the problem. I don't find anything wrong with it. I think it's fine.
Nothing wrong with it is a C, right? Oh, that's a bad example. C's what, 70%?
Yeah, and I just gave it a 68.
Yeah. So, cutting back to Joel. Joel's headed to West Palm Brewery and Wine Vault. Wow, it's a vault. 10-barrel brew pub in downtown West Palm Beach. 10 barrels. Joel's going. I bet he's going to be able to experiment a whole hell of a lot more on 10-barrel system. Wow, that's exciting.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully he doesn't pull his tweets back. That guy's amazing.
Yeah. Oh no, his tweets are so good. They're so good. They're on fire. You got to be ready for him though. This one for me is at best a 5. I'm going to give it a 4.5. I just find it to be boring. And boring doesn't get you above a 5 for me. So 4.5. Yep.
Well, that's the beauty of drinking beer. We completely agreed on the first one, and now we're completely apart on the second one.
Not completely.
I find nothing wrong. They hit the style. The beer tastes fine. There's nothing inherently wrong with it. You're not going to get this and go, ew. I think it's good. It's just not groundbreaking or anything. It's a beer with some orange in it. It's good.
Okay, I get that, but I think you should get points for being bold or doing something exciting. This is the safe play, right? This is going for the layup instead of kicking it out for three. Okay, you got 2 points the easy way. You scored, that's fine, but this isn't going to make up ground if you're down.
If that bottle had Lips of Faith on it, I definitely would have downgraded the.
Oh, I agree with that. Well, Lips of Faith, you're making a statement with those beers, and some of them are just terrible. I've had a couple of them. I'm like, ugh.
Well, I mean, that's their scratch. Not everything's going to be a winner.
Not everything's going to be a winner, but points for going big. So
I've had a lot that have been really good, though.
Yeah. Let me be fair. Most of them are the vast majority of them are very good. So, all right. Well, Mike is chiming in here. Schnitz Creek Blood Orange in Belgium is way better. Okay, I'll have to check that one out. That's not too far from here.
I still miss when they made their initial run through here and people were putting the bologna on the glass for their beer. Their smoked, whatever it was. I forget what it was.
Go down there to the brewery. They still do that.
Yeah, they did. It made the rounds here though, and it was.
Yeah.
It was, I consider that breakfast. Like, ooh, all right. Yeah. No, I'm good. No menu for me. I'm good.
I'm not from around here. I don't get the Lebanon bologna thing. It doesn't really work for me. No. It's not bologna.
All right, go back to Russia. I don't know what the it's the same damn thing.
It's not a good lunch meat.
Oh, well, I can kind of give you that. Yeah. But it's good like the little ones with the cheese, come on.
No.
The ring bullet?
No. Thumbs down. Lebanon bologna, not good.
Well, now maybe you should put some coleslaw on top of it. Maybe that would make it feel better.
Now, if you were to say Isley's chip chopped ham, I'm right there. I love that shit. Oh, it's the best.
Oh, I think I knew that girl.
Oh, I was going to suggest us take a short break, grab another beer, and go on. But after that joke, I think we're done.
Hey, I brought a backup just in case.
Oh, did you? What'd you bring?
Another Victory Homegrown Lager.
Oh, really?
I can go for 3. If you got enough words in you, I can do it.
No, I'm done. I don't know. Well, let's throw it out to the chat room. Have you heard enough from us, or are we done? Michael just wrote gimmick, but that was for. I hope that wasn't for us. I think that was for the bologna beer. The bologna beer may have been a gimmick. Here's the thing about gimmick beers.
Oh no, I get that.
Here's the thing about gimmick beers. I can get behind them. I think it's a good move if it's the right gimmick and if it's sold right. Good example, the Peep beer we had at the Little Big Beer Fest. Right, it was a golden ale with peeps in it. I didn't love it, but I loved that they put peeps in it and marshmallows, and then they threw the peep in there. That was a lot of fun. It was totally a gimmick. The 3 ounces or 5 ounces I had of it, I loved it. If you give me 12-ounce pour of that, by the halfway through it, I'm gonna be like, guys, take it back. It was just too sweet. It was nothing but sugar.
Peeps are like honeydew melon and candy corn. Who in the hell ever asked for that shit? Nobody.
Candy corn sucks. It does. Not good. All right.
So does honeydew. It's poison fruit.
Yeah, honeydew's like the filler fruit, right? Isn't that like the Brazil nut in the mixed nuts? You don't want that.
That's how you cheap out on putting cantaloupe and shit.
That's right.
Just give them green cantaloupe. It's the same shit. It costs us 8 cents less.
Mike says Ed's spot on, like he always is. Joel, team candy corn. Oh, God, Joel, you're going to get fired from this job before you even start.
Oh, shit. There's going to be a new candy corn beer before you know it.
Joel, your job is at least partly based on good taste, right? I mean, come on, Team Candy Corn, be careful there, pal. Mike, they stopped making candy corn in the 30s. I don't know if it was quite that early, but good point.
And we're still eating it to this day.
I'll tell you what, I
it
like
was war rations.
This is great. We got a live chat feeding this material. Oh man, that makes our job so much easier.
What is the deal with candy corn? It's not candy. It's not even corn.
That was a pretty good Seinfeld impression. I like that. Although
no grapes, no nuts.
Your Seinfeld impression is really just like taking your 1920s film reel news guy and just dialing it back a little bit. It's like you like take it halfway.
I don't even know how to do that without rehearsing it.
Well, you did it once without rehearsing it.
Well, yes, that's spur of the moment, but mixing Seinfeld into it, oh God.
Yeah. Well,
what's the deal with the Nazis?
All right, we're done. Hey,
that's how you bridge shitty candy into Nazis. That's how it's.
I already made a Charlottesville drop earlier, so I think we're
unintentional, or as I call that, Freudian slip.
Ooh. All right, sports fans. Victory homegrown American lager, new American lager.
It's a definite drink. Go and drink it. It's an easy drinker. You're gonna have fun with it.
We both agree on this one.
Yeah.
The New Belgian.
I would say it's drinkable, but I mean, if you miss it, who cares? Yeah,
I think this is. If you miss this one, you're not gonna be crying to your mama about it later. We both agree on the homegrown. Get that, and the New Belgium Fat Tire. Who cares? All right. Cheers. I'm going to hit stop.
I'm going to hit stop.
Peace out, guys.